Alright. Double your money was a level. Oh. Oh, double was money level on the keep talking, nobody explodes. Okay. Yeah, gotta play that more if I want to get to there. Alright, let's do some Great Ace Attorney in a minute. 6 mods, 3 minutes. Oh, we're not going to be able to do that, Luigi.
No, there's no way in hell we're doing that.
At least we're not ready for that.
Nope.
Good for learning basic. Yeah, but, make sure we gotta go, be ready. We take so long. Like, even like 2-3 modulos, Luigi, we take 3 minutes. So we have to work fast in order to get to 6. Alright, let me just update everything. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles starts now. Wait, I need to put my tags in. There we go, updated. Now good. Now Emoto will be okay. Oh, you want to show him the TF2 musical? Yeah, Luigi sent me a video apparently that had like a TF2 musical I didn't get to watch yet. Alright, so I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna launch the game first. Yep, gotta do this for a little bit. I want to do the first part of it because apparently we're on the last case. And this case has like a gajillion parts in it.
Thanks, Luigi.
So, yeah, gotta try to see what we got. Alright, let's see. Let's continue on to the adventure of the unspeakable story. If it's a story that's unspeakable, why would you speak about it? The Hound of the Baskervilles. A hound it was, but not so much a hound. I couldn't read that.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us.
That's what she
Wisps
said?
of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness.
Huh, he said cock.
The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. Look well, Wilson, Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles.
Baskerville? What the heck is a Baskerville? Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. Wow! We went from like just being in London for like a couple days to literally 2 months. Jesus. In that disconcerting courtroom experience, in that disconcerting concerting courtroom experience, we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country. Bleh. Maybe they did find work. I mean, technically, this is supposed to be a study trip kind of thing, Luigi. So it's not really work. They're set on a budget, but with the amount they have, they're supposed to learn about London. I'm assuming within the year. It's just such a big jump in time where they went from literally 2 days to like 2 months. And Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. 50 plus can indeed change a person. Yeah. 50 days. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by a fateful telegram. 15th of April, 9:13 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. I like how he made an office right above Sherlock Sholmes. They have tea! That morning, I was woken up by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. She didn't want to throw him anymore. Susato-san? Yes? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Okay, first change is my setting of the perfect pixel ratio. Get saved. Ah. Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suit? I thought that said Mr. Sholmes' wife for a second. And I was just like, hold on a minute. Those two aren't married. At least I think they are not married. Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in the fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. Wife and suit are two different words. Yes, they are, but my mind went to a different location for a beat, Luigi. Luigi. So, what was it? What was it about? That telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the boss here. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. I'm the boss here. You listen to me. Dangerous bugs, dangerous life. Wife and life sound the same. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. Thought you would remember that clip. I mean, I'm the one, I remember that being a thing. It's just that there's a lot of things about it that, I was just misheard is all. Ahem. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. I'll just take it then. It's my mail. You don't have to tell me. I can just take it. I suppose Sasaki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering what might have become of Sasaki-san had he stayed in London, that's all. You mean, as regards Lord Van Zykes, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled his insignificance in that case. The Reaper. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Oh yeah, someone burned to dive, and it was McGinnis or whatever his name was. Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even so, 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Sasaki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably, that means. That the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps. Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legendary Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against a more acquitted defendants. Well, I don't think so. Skull comes in here and be like, guilty! We haven't even been in a trial yet, Skull. You can say guilty to Frieza. That whole Frieza fight's gonna take you another 4 hours, so you're gonna be there for a while, Skull. Actually, I don't know if it's 4 hours after the Super Saiyan form. I think it is after the Super Saiyan form, because that's where they start catching up with the manga. Squirrel! Shall we start up Among Us, Skull? 4 hour. No, Skull, like, I'm legit not joking. That fight is, on record, the longest, I think is the longest anime fight, at the very least, ever. And that's only because the anime was catching up with the manga. Like, when the Frieza fight was happening, they were literally 2 chapters away from the manga. So they had to drag it out so long and so much, so that they basically took the meme 5 hours, that's 5 minutes, to literal hours. So yeah, this is why Dragon Ball Z in itself is super, super long. It's not spoilers, Skull, in that regard. I'm just saying it's a long fight is all. I'm not saying how it goes, because I don't even remember how it goes. It's been a long time since I last seen that stuff. At least I don't think it's spoilers, just telling the length, at least in my book. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zykes hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Sasaki-san's trial, he's withdrawn from the judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in recent spate of trials then, huh? Just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry? What was that? Many have different opinions on spoilers. True. How's the weather been over there? Rainy. A lot of rain recently, but it's been pretty clear recently.
Have you ever seen
Nothing there. I'm free, free falling.
Completely different song, but I'll take it.
I don't know that song you're singing, unfortunately.
Like, it was like, well, after the part where he's like, have you ever seen the rain? He's like, coming down on a sun.
Yeah, I don't know that song. Actually, wait, I want to add Sean because he's currently deafened. I almost said dong. Hoping tomorrow will be nice. I hope you get have a good some nice weather, Skull. It was cold
Sorry
today.
about I was looking at some social media. What's up?
James was singing a song and I don't know what that song is. James?
Or is it, have you ever seen the rain?
Have you ever seen the rain?
On the sun?
I don't know that song. I don't know if Sean knows it either. Who is in voice call? Void Lord. It's an old song. I don't know that one. So yeah, who's in the voice call is currently James, Will, who's currently muted, Sean, and Mike.
I just realized that I wasn't pressing the key. Yes, I do know that song. It's Have You Ever Seen the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Ah, so you do know it. Yeah, I don't know it.
It's also Not Coming Down Sun song.
I don't know. I heard Coming Down Sun song. Also, I almost wrote Coming Down Sun Dong when I was typing that. Also, I don't know if Sean is like laughing or not because he's currently not talking.
I'm here.
Okay, good. It was cold today. You got slight hair, Luigi. Hoping well. Yeah. Return this lab. No. The triple S technically Sean Sounders Sports. Sean Sound Sports. Mike, where art thou? Mike, are you on call right now? Or are you at your mic right now? Oh, nothing. Never mind. I know Mike is in the call, but he's currently muted. Oh man, true tea lover. Why is there a shovel here? It could be Emoto. If it was Emoto, she would have been messaging me right now. But I don't know if either one of them are currently at the computer. I think you'd enjoy Rune Factory 5 though. I'm not against trying Rune Factory. I've never tried any Rune Factory ever. I've seen them and I heard like decent things from them. But regular like casual life simulators sometimes bore me. So I'm not against trying it, but at the same time I don't know 100% if I will enjoy it. It's just also that I'm not going to be able to get it anytime soon, Skull, because I'm not exactly in a position of finance to get anything. Unless Sean get... Huh?
What are you looking
at? Rune Factory 5 is what Skull was saying, but I have other games I want to get. She's not letting me look at it. Except Sean doesn't want me to get me a $1,000 game.
No, I don't.
Buy me that.
No.
Buy me that for Christmas. As my very, very early Christmas present. It's not really a casual life sim, I don't think. I mean, it's a more RPG style game, but I could be. I haven't seen too much. It's $1,000. Oh, you guys, yeah, sounds like Metroid. No, okay. So here's the thing, Skull. Metroid games, no Metroid game in existence is like over like $200. I will just say that right now. Unless they're like pristine, new, boxed, whatever. I don't consider those as like the things you should put in a price on that. I want to say, so $1,000 game. So I went to a recent video game store nearby. Fusion is 100, but then no Metroid game is like over 200 unless it's like a straight up boxed or like very pristine condition. Let's see, so JSAP might be out of the picture for 100k. JSAP? What the heck is JSAP? It might be out of the picture. It's just, it depends on finance. Also, Luigi, if you request the game, I can still depend on when it just shapes and beats. It's not exactly I can't play that, but it's also that I will decide when I will play it. So when you request the game, I will decide whether I can play it or not, and if I can and I would decide to do it, I will decide when I'll do it. You want to see pinball? I do have the game, so if you request it, that's totally fine. But yeah, no, the $1,000 game was actually in a retro game store I recently went to, and there's a couple of $1,000 games. Like $1,000 games in the NES library, Skull, is actually not that uncommon. It sounds very bad, and it is. It's straight up a not a great scene, but the NES library for a lot of games are extremely tough. Like extremely tough to find and also extremely expensive. To give you an idea of a $1,000 game, I saw this game called, like, I think Bonk's Adventure. This game was originally around it was in the Turbo Graphics era where it was released there. Dude, what makes this game specifically expensive is because the developers made the NES game and they released it in such limited quantities, so like 500 copies were known to be produced, but only 10 to 15 copies of this actually are publicly known, Skull. As in, the other copies are either destroyed, thrown away, or straight up just like lost and like, or in some kind of people's basements or something like that. Yeah, I'm not joking, by the way. This is like what this person straight up told me. So yeah, that copy is extremely rare. It's like the Shantae game I have. It's like such limited quantities of the game officially that it's very hard to find. Yeah, it sounds extremely wallet breaking. That's why, like, with retro game collecting, I don't recommend it to anybody unless it's like straight unless you are willing to go through that. A lot of that, it's just like game collecting is super expensive. So because the games are so rare, they cost so high. Yeah, because what makes a game rare, like high in price, Skull, is a matter of rarity and a matter of high demand. All right?
In condition.
Again, in condition, and how complete it is also a factor, but the main factors of how expensive initially it begins, the base price, is based on rarity, how limited it is, and how high demand it is. So like for Metroid Fusion, it was a pretty decently popular game. The reason why it's so priced high is because the high demand of people wanting to play it because of Metroid Dread. That's the reason why its costs so high. And the rarity of these games, the higher the rarity of the game, the more high demanding the secondhand market is. So it's straight up like, it's not a great thing to go through and like deal with. It's straight up, it's not fun, is what I would want to say, Skull. It's it's bad, and it's also like, again, conditions on games depend, like how scratched up it is. Does it have a lot of marking? Does the stickers still are on there? How ripped they are? The casing, if they have any. Do they have the original inserts? Do they have the manuals? Is this a brand new sealed copy? Etc. Like, there's a lot of factors to it, and it's not great. And I hate the secondhand market for this, but it is what it is. I know Nightmare Sticker Star is coming. I mean, Sticker Star is a game that also I'm considering anyway, Luigi, whether it be requested or not. But I don't know when it's going to be. Mobile mod stuff, also scary due to easily accidentally timeout / ban users. Yeah. That's true. You got to be careful with that now. I wonder how much Super is, considering a lot of people speedrun Super Metroid. Super Metroid is a lot more less demanding than Fusion. The reason why Fusion is a little bit more because I think it's a little bit rarer. Super Metroid it's a mass-produced game, so getting a copy is not hard. It's still a high demand, so as you said, speedrunning and stuff like that, it's less expensive than Metroid Fusion from what I've seen. It's like a loose copy can go up to $60-$70 depending on the condition, and a box copy can go over like $100. So it's not as bad as like Metroid Fusion for sure, but it's still decently expensive. It's like Mario 64 as well. That game can easily go from $40 to $60 even as that older game because of how high demand it is. So but it's a mass-produced game, so it's not as expensive. Luigi's just doing all the swag. Show him sweet. Morning. Oh shoot, what's her name again? No, not Ryris. No, what's her accent again? Yeah, game collecting is a straight up a chore, Skull. It's all the bits. Oh yeah, those are my bits one.
It's a scam.
Yeah, I can't use those emotes. It died. Oh, your subscription passed, that's why. Oh, those are bit emotes, so even if you resubscribe, Skull, you have to at least give me 1,000 bits to use at least one of them. Luigi is able to use all those 3 because there's 10k bits. And I think that's the let's go face. Morning, Bruno. Morning, Susie. Luigi, please no. You don't have to. Good morning, Iris. Iris. What is it, Bruno? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Ah, yes. You noticed that, did you? Well, thank you. Thank you, Luigi, for the gifted sub to Skull. I have to give you 10 bits, just like Fanta lol. Well, Luigi, thank you so much for another gifted sub. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. And
Give him more money.
You give me more money.
No.
Well, Skull, once you get like a better stable life, then you can give me some bits. Other than that, just wait on it. Yeah, 6 months is a long time. Dang. Well, congrats, Skull, on getting the GameCube controller. Harley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. Also, I see his butt. Hello. There's the card pack. I was wondering when Mike is actually going to do the card pack thingy. Mike. Skull wants you to talk at least. I already gave Blaze 100 subs. Try to beating that triple. Wow. Oh, don't worry. You and Fanta will be spammed. I'll hopefully get my Switch badge one day. One day, Skull Crade. One day. Thanks for the hydrate, Will. I know you're eating, but just at least say hi. Also, Mike, do you want Vivid Voltage or just a random pack? Because I do have like random packs in there that haven't been opened yet. Random. Let's see. Do I have one up here? Alright, well, I don't think so. So let's see. What random pack is there that I can open? Oh, hey. I still have one Evolving Skies. Why not? Also, Luigi, Jesus, you don't have to give any more gifted subs. I appreciate all the gestures. Thank you for the gifted sub to Kraid. Well, now he has the... Wait, isn't the Switch badge I have is at 12 months? So that means next month would equal to the Switch badge. One for that, yeah. Well, I got Evolving Skies. Once we get to some conversing, there we go. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. I helped a little. Much appreciated, Luigi. Your help is always appreciated, by the way. I appreciate all the gift subs you're doing anyway, too. 6 months here, and that means 9 months in Fanto. Oh man, Sholmes is down to the dumps. Somebody needs some Satum silly. Iris, take him to the room. He needs a good spanking. Oh, good morning. Good morning to die, perhaps. Wow, he's moody. Somebody's depressed. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? I really appreciate it, Luigi. You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical God, mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. I can't read English. My English is dead. Damn this blanched existence. That's all there is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. Sholmes, you okay? I think Sholmes is depressed. I don't know. I can't tell. Only Justin knows clearly what the if Sholmes is depressed or not. And to me, Sholmes is not depressed. He just needs a Snicker. He doesn't think right when he's hungry. I'm afraid I don't understand. Some just give this man a hug and some soju. Nah, he doesn't drink. Well, Iris, is it time we ate some dry toast and insipid coffee for me? If it's not too much trouble. Meow. Kitty cat. Oh, look, it's Wakahai. I thought that said Waluigi for some reason. I'm also fixing your house. Ah, nice. Someone give this darn you art correct. It's a smart cat. It is. Good morning, boy. I pressed the button. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there? Ah, well, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew it! Something looked different. Something missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Wanting to die. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hand, this violin sung like a dawn chorus. Its mellifluent tones would make flowers bloom. It would? Well, sir, I am not a violinist. That would be my brother. I'm more of a trumpetist. But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddess of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I've bowed, for days even. Through the night I've endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone. Gone forever! No! More recitals, unbridled emotion. Well, if you haven't been practicing lately, have you? You haven't been practicing lately, have you, Harley? Don't worry. I'm sure it will come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddess of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man. The next day, they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Ugh, why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin for me, what is left? For pity's sake, what is left? Woman? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Someone give this man a blanket and put his cat on his lap. That sounds like a villainous thing. Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Mr. Soto. Your observation skills do you credit. Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale into insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? Your mean Harry's great and a little Tisco? That's at Windy Banks now. Sorry? It's at a Windy Bank? No, Windy Banks. The pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish that you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear maiden, things are far more from desperate. But the pawnbroker has a wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbrokering works. Oh. What's to understand exactly? Cats purr make people happy. Not to everyone's goal. One thing that sucks is if you want to see your in-game, you would have to get a Switch since console locked. Yeah, I have to get the Switch version on that regard too. House. How pawnbroking works. What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand? Oh, yawning. How pawnbroking works. To the people of London, pawnbrokers are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice.
Nick, my boy, I must sleep.
No, you don't.
I'll see you for tomorrow's stream. Maybe
No, you don't. No sleep for you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Also, thanks for playing Bomb Game with me.
Yep, let's play again another time.
Yes.
Night.
We will do 5 modules.
Yep.
In 3 minutes.
Yeah. Night.
Good night.
I make their homes through the only show pictures Discord. Oh yeah. He does. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. So basically they're helping them get a business. And then on Sundays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see. Especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So, whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windy Banks, you see. A pawnbrokery can be thought as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? I make their home, currently modifying your shared house and making Alberto's house. Ah, gotcha. Of course you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawn things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Somebody is just depressed. I'm gonna slap you silly, boy. Gonna slap you silly and call you Jimmy. A woman. I got an award. I got an achievement. Since you still share the house with Selby. Ah, I gotcha. I share a house with Carl. I'm gonna burn Carl. I'm gonna use my fire. Flamethrower! And then Celebi will die. Because Celebi is a useless Pokemon. Even Kraid agrees. You know what's better? Dunsparce. Mr. Natsumi's cat seems to have settled in his new home then. Huh. Alright, that is Mr. Natsumi's cat. Ah, yes. I've become very attached to Mr. Waggy. Sounds like Wagyu almost. It would appear its previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews as empty as the hearts of the muses. Aw, that's adorable. If Mr. Natsumi had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard ships in our experience. And for a good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. You're strangling the cat. Yes, he really is. Oh, yes. What about the door? Wow. Ooh, that Ren give you wrong. Oh, yes, he is. What about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did it come from? Oh, you noticed? You're very observant, no? Look at who's this? It's my latest invention. What is that? I call it the cat flapomat. Gosh. A machine that makes doors just for cats? That's right. I can make a cat flap for a little furry friend with like Waggy in seconds. It can do it on any door, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than make a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe. But now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Pouty face. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us to use in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Hehehe. Oh, what was that sound? Wagga hi? Screech! What was that? Oh no! Wakahai's tangled up in your violin. I think he thinks it's a toy. No, what's he doing to it? Dear, Mr. Sholmes pressed his violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished magician than I now, Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives. Shall I, Hurdy? Out of a cat's reach, if possible. Maybe he should assess the damage. We should assess the damage or something. I don't know what it said. So this is the violin, is it? It is a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh my god, it's an expensive one. Probably sound. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languished in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every Paganini experience performance I have made. There's Justin. Now he can deduce if Sholmes is depressed or just a whiny little baby. Because clearly Justin is a very certified psychiatrist who knows Sholmes in and out. He has a PhD in Naruhodonese.
What? Are you just making up countries now?
No. All true.
What?
Neither. What is Justin not? It's claiming that he's not fluent in Naruhodonese. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music, to tolerate its blanched existence? No! There is none! Update, you got it better, B. Nice. I was gonna say B, bed. Reasoning. Naruhodo. Mr. Holmes? What is it, dear maiden? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine.
Oh, that sounds dark.
What's dark?
Wanting release from routine. Like, that just sounds like... What is he? He want just his life to change, or he just wants to be released from his mortal coil?
Both. Because apparently he's been saying he wants to die earlier, so...
Oh, that's grim.
Yeah, it's Sholmes, whatever. He'll get over it. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? Hmm? What do you mean, Miss Susato? Oh, Susie's right. Yes. The tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right side, is it? What's this? I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then what? It does look a little bit big. I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. What? What? Nani?
I remember, I once dated a girl named Viola.
My name is Viola.
What? No, it's not. You liar.
I just changed it about 2 seconds ago.
Lies and deception. I'm reporting you.
Nah, nah. Date me, James.
Who?
I said
Oh.
date me, James.
Okay. Wait, but you already, I thought we were already getting married after the casino.
Yeah, the wedding's off.
Oh. Okay. You can't play with people's emotions like this, Nick. They're not gonna want to be with you. Okay, Rafiki, calm down.
Dang. Darn it, has a sub already. Yep. Will's fine, Luigi. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you alright? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of stringed flotsman? Not your favorite performing partner, then. Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. If we ask her. But do we want to ask her? No! We want to investigate her surroundings. This is what we get for intruding on the lady's room. Remember, kids, if you want to ask a lady information, you first have to intrude into their rooms and investigate everything.
Sounds like terrible advice.
I don't know. It's advice.
I mean, it's advice, sure.
What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Where did you see this violin? Sorry, this viola, I mean. Was at the Windy Banks till last week. At the pawnbrokers? But not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There is a proverb from the East which you are no doubts familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Well, he's up in not so gloomy anymore. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth. Oh yes, what a wonderful idea. Last week I pawned my great analytoscope. Great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Windybank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears can't be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw. A fine state of affair this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry. Crunching your toast with a vacant aspect, freshing your copy so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with with which we are faced. We must visit Mr. Windy Bank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Be careful not to get fiddled, folks. This is why I play the trumpet and not a violin. Otherwise, you get a mix with all of them. And this is why Justin doesn't play the violin. Even though I kept like for a long time thinking he played the clarinet. I still think he is a clarinet person looking. He looks like a clarinet person.
Does he look like a squid?
Does he look like a squid?
Does he work in a fast food restaurant?
Maybe a different version of Justin. It owns the fast food restaurants.
Does he paint obscure art and try and pass it off as you see him?
Are you calling him like the fox, red fox in Animal Crossing?
What? No, I meant Squidward.
Oh, Squidward. You were getting there and then it got lost.
Oh, because there's that one episode where he tries to pass his art off to an art critic, and he's like, more like belongs in the trash.
Ah, yes. I don't know. I haven't seen Justin draw anything, so who knows? Precisely, Miss Susato, without a moment's delay. Does Paragon have one? You mean have what? But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely do not still intend to crunch on your bacon with increasingly vacant aspect to fresh your egg ever so obtusely. Yeah, Justin is already a sub. Alright, say no more. Let's go then. Let's go. Don't worry, Runo. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker look like. Perfect opportunity to present my armband to this man. Stop you there, Mr. Naruhodo. Unofficial I may be, but I am nevertheless a professional that I couldn't examine such a humdrum item for anything less than £5. Oh, no, I didn't really want you to examine. I just wanted to ask if... My dear fellow, as a professional consulting detective, I couldn't possibly venture an opinion for anything less than £5. Are you perhaps hoping to purchase a new telescope in the near future, Mr. Sholmes? Indeed I am. As you know, it has been long been an ambition of mine to discover a new star and a name for itself. Because your earthly stardom isn't enough. Look at this armband, not look at this badge. Screw you, Carl. Alright. Cards, as Mike wanted. Psychic Energy. Herdier. Scroll of the Fanged Dragon. Floette. Patilli. Pikachu! Pumpkaboo. Rufflet. Lotat. Zwalius. And Shiftry. I think that was my last literally Evolving Skies ever. Yeah, that's like my last Evolving Skies, and all the rest is like Vivid Voltage and random couple of random ones. Fire Aura is raring to go. Well, we're not gonna unfortunately play Explorers of Sky tonight, Luigi. We're still playing this game for a little bit. New location has been added. Ooh, Baker Street. I can go to Baker Street. Can I bake myself a cupcake? Also, for those who want to game collect, it's a good idea to go around and actually check your whole local pawn shops and stuff like that for games. Because there's actually some games that are on sale there that are considerably rare. A lot of people do that. Or like Goodwill or like garage sales. I plan to do those a lot when I get a full-time job and everything. Oh, so the pawn the pawn shop is literally like down here. We're the main character. You get to live with the other main character cast. The bakery has nothing. I see dolls. Are we going to Annabelle? So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my. There are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I never laid eyes on before. Asusata-san. And that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. Oh wow, you changed fast. Dude, you're not hot anymore. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we're here. Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. Clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, sir. Welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Oh yes. We are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruto. And it's time to inform Mr. Windybank of our ire. Come, and fight is afoot. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from some days ago. Yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Windybank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the right size. Same size. I wonder the summary. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There is only one way to make amends. Run away. Holy Jesus. Are we going to Persona 3? Because that is exactly what my thought immediately went to. Nothing of the sort. And, you know. This case went straight up dark with some of its stuff. Just like Persona 3 and its story. I wanted to make that joke first. Well, you're too slow, Justin. You're too slow. Yeah, it's like Sonic would say. should take my own life? Do it. Do it. I dare ya. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Ah, yes? It was you, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, ah, here it is. You did? And when I turned to controvert you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there is no doubt that the blame lies firmly on my own door for allowing you to leave. I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, my dear fellow. The fault's mine. Whew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Windybake. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you're right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. It was more of a suicide stoppage. Well, the fact that Herlock Sholmes was wanting to die, and this guy literally put a gun to his head. There's a lot of suicide stoppage in this case already, and we haven't even gone to trial yet. We stopped murder cases of themselves by giving them clear evidence. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needed to remind you of a particular collection of items you've brought through my door in the past. Oh? What peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am, for example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes or some such. Oh my, a new fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I haven't yet to read, you mean? Ah, forgive me. Wait, before you die, you must tell me more. I could ask for more, but do I really want to? I must know no more. Please, tell me everything. Wow, Susato-san, you is really fired up now. She doesn't care about this guy about to kill himself. She all cares about the manuscript. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Windybake. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, of course, they're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life. This is all very strange. Tries to prefer the ammo out of the gun. At this point, I don't know if the gun is even loaded. It's like Russian roulette. That's a revolver right there. I wonder, could I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry. Aha! But your splendid attire, ma'am. 5 guineas. Oh, no less. So you're asking us to strip down and give you our clothes. Got it. That's weird. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic, existent artistry at its finest, I may say. Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? You basically called your fashion literally dull and boring, just like your face. Oh. Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that the pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure storage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me, plus the agreed interest, the items are happily returned. What happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then? That's right, ma'am. That's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Windybank, is an absurdity. One shall never talk about one's demise so casually, says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. I was about to say that. I was literally about to say that. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? He gave him his 3 measurements. I engineered a simple device which Mr. Windybank has installed here in his shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windybank? Huh. What was that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are 2 just below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. Yes, a print of the camera set to record activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. I'm going to get off for the night. Oh, okay. I hope you sleep well, Mike. I'll catch you later. That's extraordinary. Yes, you can see clearly. You can clearly see the counter and the door behind. Oh wait, no, that's Susato. Never mind. When did she get the big guy? Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look. So you see, were someone to enter the premise with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But did you not say the photograph prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? This is what I was talking about. Indeed. As you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incidents were to occur in between the times? One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause to distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windybank. Surely they are not anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we are verge on the age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us! Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. The very thing! Thank you, Mr. Windybank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop. Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving the gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry. I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not really what I meant. That's literally Russian roulette. If that bullet doesn't hit you, it could hit someone else. Good day to you then, Mr. Windybank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruto, now we can explore at last. Oh, time to look around. Yeah, it has to be recorded, especially in pawn shop like this. Ugh. Did you just call him fat? Wow, that guy is very, like, strict on business. Jesus. All right, let's see. Nothing particular interest inside? Doubt that. It's my business to know what others do not. Also, saying that out loud could be very disastrous, Mr. Sholmes. I haven't seen that large before. Ooh. Shall we listen then? Oh, it's a music box. I thought it was a giant gong. Or a mini gong. Oh, so this is the metal disc recorder. Got it. Science and technology upgrading at an overwhelming pace. If not, one can extend. Ooh. My treasured university. Also, you've been only wearing one uniform. Are you ever gonna wear something different, Naruhodo? Is this the... You watch the... Oh. Oh, it's the stereoscope. Oh. I'm burping. I'm hiccuping. Cross-eyed. Okay. How are you watching that from up there? Don't you have to bend down more? Do I have to play a little minigame? What the? Oh, I don't believe it. Oh yeah, that's how like people did it, because like if you put like one eye in one area and focus on it, like you block it, then you'll be able to see like 3D almost. Black magic. Funko Blade can explain it at the present. That's how odd that they would make such a scene out of something like that. Seems very peculiar that they would make it something like that. The back door, the pictures of the camera, the stereoscope. Nah, no. None of those don't seem important. Now this, though. This is important. Man, today's date, April 15th. Yeah, rocked out the wrong violin. What is that? It's for feet. A foot massage. It's a gun. Okay, so nothing at all. Pair of windows to look through. I feel like I've seen this rat somewhere before. What? Only twopence for it? That ain't fair, you know it. The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Sounds like there's an argument brewing over the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you heard at proper butchers at that? I'm so bad at this accent. I've seen it all I need. You younger. Wait, don't we know? I recognize her. Oh, yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilda's trial 2 months ago. Her name is Dean Rastred, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crest among road crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. And she had a gun. Gordon Bennett, you lot. She still has that gun. Oh, Miss Lestrade. Hope you've been well. Oh, what? You won't remember me then, do ya? I was giving her a manly voice. Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here?
What are you doing in my swamp?
What are you doing in my swamp? Down and out like the rest of us, nothing to eat. Come to pop that black weasel sorry coat, have ya? What is it about my black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Mr. Sholmes. So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article. I shall negotiate with Mr. Windybank on your behalf. Pull the other one. I don't need your help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Mrs. Lestrade. I will be happily remove myself from your presence. Shh. And he disappears, just like every boy who got rejected from a girl. He's really done it. He's gone. Oh, I'm sorry, but as I said, there's really no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? And you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. She's ought to sound really can really stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. Somehow I didn't really think you were the sort of person who would use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Well, yeah, I am. Alright, I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That a problem, is it? No, not a problem at all. It's just, well, that... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, well, I can see it written all over your chafy face. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruto? Alright then, I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose sometimes. You're not gonna deny it either, Mrs. Lestrade? Not this time, alright, I swear. That thing belongs to me. The disc that Mr. Windybank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. Look at Mr. Windybank watching diligently over blah 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 blah. Probably suppose, yep. Yo, Biz, what's up? How you been doing? How's your night been? It's been going well, dude. Which is anyone alive right now? Just chilling. How are you? Not too bad. Earlier, I just played Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes with a friend. And now doing this. Also, dude, Swampy Boy, I need to give a raid. Swampy raid. Dude, Swampy Boy, dude, well, how you been doing, my dude? That Swampy Boy. Not Swampy Boy, it's that Swampy Boy. Hey. Oh, you're playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Dude, how's that so far? It looked actually legit fun. How you been doing, dude? How's that game? Are you playing with a co-op buddy or are you playing by... I actually don't know if it has co-op or not. Kingdom Hearts, yeah, I know, I could see that. Last time... yeah, because like I seen you play like the Dark Anthology and then you were playing like a lot of Kingdom Hearts doing single player right now. Okay, the multiplayer is it really? Well, then again, it's Gearbox. A lot of their multiplayer stuff is been busted. It's actually funny how one of the recent Gearbox game I've played was Colonial Marines with a couple friends.
Yeah, that was pretty traumatizing.
It was a great game. I don't know what you're talking about. It's new. The servers are overloaded. Okay. Yeah, usually that's how it is with like big popular games. I still need to finish Borderlands 3. That's one game I need to finish up. I beat Borderlands 2. It's like one of my favorite like shooter games for sure. But Borderlands 3 I need to finish up. It's unfortunately Borderlands 3 has a lot of glitchy mess and I'm not the biggest fan of like the story even though I got through a lot of it. But yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's my thing, Swampy. I like Borderlands 3 in terms of a lot of quality of life choices. The graphics are a little updated and everything, a lot of quality of life. The UI specifically is very busted. Like I don't know why it's like busted on a lot of consoles.
Borderlands busted.
Huh?
Borderlands busted.
Borderlands 3's UI is busted. But that's like the...
I was trying to go for a border joke, but I don't know how to make it work.
I don't know either. But Borderlands 3, that's the best it is. The characters and the story are just to me. Like, here's the thing. Borderlands 2's characters were a lot more fun. And yeah, and especially the story, the character, the main villain was great. Like, that's the thing, is like, it's really hard to not like Borderlands 2 was the peak of Borderlands in a lot of ways, and it was so much fun. I really am glad. Yeah, top tier and unreplaceable. Yeah, that's the thing, is just like because they made it so good, it's really hard to top it with the Borderlands 3. I just don't like the villains in Borderlands 3 because they were just like, oh dude, like unreplaceable, irreplaceable. I mean, both
the pre-sequel. I got like an hour into the pre-sequel and I already hate the character.
I need to try the pre-sequel too. I need to finish up Borderlands 1. I need to finish up Borderlands pre-sequel and then just finish up Borderlands 3. I might push to just play those by myself, honestly. But yeah, like Borderlands in itself is such a great like Borderlands 2 is like the height, and I really do like Borderlands 2's like overall game. The story is like again forgettable, but the character Handsome Jack is like a great villain. I still like his like butt stallion. Here, buddy. Excellent combat, sorry, rather mediocre. Yeah, like that's the thing. Borderlands 3 has a lot of quality of life, which I wish are now in Borderlands 2. Because when I go back to Borderlands 2, I wish it had quality of life with Borderlands 3 having. That being said, Borderlands 2 has better UI and obviously characters and everything. It also has even all the previous characters from the first game. Like, Borderlands 3 ignores a couple of the characters, and I'm not fully certain why, but that's probably because it's like there's the Tales of Borderlands game, and then you need to do the other games. Like, it's just one of those, like, it disconnects with a lot of things. And that's what I don't like about it. It just, it's a mainline game that like you need to play the pre-sequel as well as the I wouldn't say that the pre-sequel. Like, you need to mainly play Tales of Borderlands in order to understand some of the characters, which is the problem. So yeah, that's my take on Borderlands. I like Borderlands. It's definitely a fun cooperative game if you get people with it, but that's the best it is, honestly. I'm gonna continue this at least. Mr. Windybank, what exactly is the metal disc that Mr. Strayed has brought in? I'm also, like, for those who've been raided, like, who came in the raid, and also Swampy, I'm playing Great Ace Attorney. This is actually the last case of this game, so just in case if you guys want to play this or don't know the game, this is heavy spoilers from here on out. In a sense, yeah. It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface. I'm giving you a British accent. Ah, it's a music text, you see, for use inside a music box. In the music box? What? You don't even know what a music box is? You Eastern lot ain't so too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one of these discs before. The small protrusions on the master disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and the beautiful music plays. It's incredible. Tell us, what tune is on this disc? Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that there are so many different types of music box, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really? Offering more than I should at a penny? That's a packet of lies. It told me. It did. He said it was, well, he who? Never mind. It's just ain't right, that's all. The disc's worth good money, I know it is. Well, then you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? She's been in before, of course. This little tatterdemalion. I see. I brought some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. So, is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. Ah, a storage ticket, so... Miss Lestrade, has actually come to redeem an article from you today. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff what needs stolen. Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obligated to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windybank. The little scamp is wearing it, Mom. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. What? What's wrong with it? With that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it is. Of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? The disc is something else. A new article to pawn, if the girl and I agree on a price. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yeah, it is quite simple, Naruhodo. I followed it clear to the dot. You just need to be smarter. I smarts, you dumb. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I understood it. That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went riffling through the pockets. Oh, you mean... What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at the lady? You're not a lady, woman. I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, Mom. And she immediately tried to pawn it. For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Mr. Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me. It doesn't really appear to be your size. Me, old man. It's me, old man's, ain't it? Is it, Mr. Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please. Oh, out of my way, please. Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? He's in a white suit. Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. What's your problem, eh? There is no problem as long as you remove yourself. I've a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you are an imprudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket. Who are you? How do you know who I am? The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy even remembering the faces of your victims, it seems. What? You mean, from you? Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pickpocket thief, this pocket thief, has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. Wastrel? Wastrel, Bostrel, Castrel, Costrel, what the heck is that name? And needless to say, any music box discs too. No, you couldn't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's, or it was, now it's mine. Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yes, I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Miss Lestrade, is that what the gentleman is saying? Well, you do your thing. It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on me life. On my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago and I was walking along the street, minding my own business, when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again. Oh yes, as you can see, I am a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by those slum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on. Why does everyone think it's me? Look at this dandy cove, and you think I am the dodgy one. I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. What about evidence? Yeah. Where is your evidence that I stole something? Eh? Come, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. What? Evidence that the article Mr. Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course, we only need to consult Mr. Windybank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, that's brilliant. I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh? I never asked customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. But why not? Well now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. But then, how can you know if the article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? How about the picture? That was also a thing possible too. Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article without a doubt. A watchword, interesting. So, about these watchwords, Mr. Windybank. As I just explained, I never asked customers' names when they deposited items with me. There are many reasons why. Certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. The picture's also one thing about Luigi is that it's also like it was 2 months ago, so it has to go through like hundreds of photos just to get to there. So for the most part, it's just like a word is probably the best way to do it. And what That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets, none at all. Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, when I give the storage ticket to the customer, when someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article. That's right, sir. Yes, just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already, but the avoidance of doubt. But for avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat deposited 2 months ago on 15th February. With the watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. So that means she also did all perfectly correct too. But I'll... Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no further room for doubt. Sholmes is not dancing there. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yes. We're from Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. Dancing weird. Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown colored soup, dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring about a name of another. Of course, yes. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer, and, well, a student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Eggert Benedict. Eggert Benedict. Egg Benedict. Eggs Benedict. Why the heck was I not expecting some kind of weird pun? God dang it, Nintendo. Exotic butter. Exotic butter. Enchanté. Enchanté. Is that French? What a good-looking Benedict. I've seen better looking Benedicts. This guy ain't got any yolks. He's so refined in how he holds himself, how he speaks, and the name is suspicious. Now, to the matter at hand. My overcoat. Return it at once to someone with the style to carry it off. Every move he makes, every breath he takes. Every move he makes, every breath he takes. Every move he makes, every breath. I don't know what song I was thinking. There's some kind of song that was there. I know that there's a song and I just can't remember it. I can't stand watching him. So, let that be the end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grown-ups. Just 'cause I'm a diver Everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. Well, of course, sir. Here is the disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. Or, that is, I deposited another. Someone put the sus bar. I don't have a sus button. I wish I had a nut button. I would just keep doing nut, 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 nut. Another disc. Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir. That's what was deposited with me. Was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Ooh, eh? I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc is mine. She was about to touch his, like, chest area. It's like he just saw that and just like kind of thing. What you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, there's blood on the disc. That's because of those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them. I found it first, alright? I mean, it belongs to me, old man. So you're not having it. Oi, you take it. Me? If I hang on to it, they'll have me off with me again. So you keep hold of it. Miss Lestrade, why is the disc so important to her? Also, there's something wrong with this, alright? You're giving it to him in the middle of, like, him trying to steal. Why can't he, like, be just like, I'm just gonna give this back to you? Second, even if he does it, like, keeps hold of it, and I sneeze, the fact of the matter is that they can clearly claim it back. It's not his. You there, in the black livery. Thank you, Luigi. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars. What do I do now? How am I struck? How am I going to resolve this? Where's Sholmes? Sholmes! Sholmes! Help, Sholmes! Sholmes! I'm just gonna keep clicking on these guys because I like the stairs, honestly. Mr. Sholmes? What are you examining with such keen interest there? Are you enjoying a bar of caramel, I see? As you enjoy caramel? So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows, cruelly ostracized, as the rest of you partook in a jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but I was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on only the friend I have left, the 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things could have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation, or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Mr. Sholmes? Oh, poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you. You're acting like Sholmes is some kind of pet, which kind of is at this point. I don't know. Justin will agree with me. I think he's a pet. In the meantime, gotta double check something. It would seem that my interference are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again. My dear madame, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? Ah man, so hard. How come? How much did I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration, but who knows if it will help resolve the situation between Mrs. Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Listen to the deduction or leave it. I say if we leave it, we can end this game right now, here and right now. I don't know. I think you agree, Justin, that we can just end it right here. We'll just be done with the game. I mean, I think that'll be the smart decision. Well, Miss Lestrade, Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where in the blue blazes have you been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help her your way, not at hour later. Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Eckert Benedict, you have in your eyes a vertically encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. The considerable crime is contemplation, one you will orchestrate with the intent to steal as a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who are you? Who think you are? Who do you think you are, sir? Who am I? I am your mother. I am Batman. Ah yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Sherlock Sholmes Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Alright, if there's a snake involved in this, I'm game. First of all, we must ask ourselves what kind of business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is the most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the staff requirement flyer. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet, even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employee. In other words, there's an ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutch to your person, exhibits an uncontrovertible contradiction. What other rot? I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak, of course, the missing Furel. The end of walking cane, which to be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wood tip. And yet, detailed analysis shows that the wooden tip of this stick is utterly bare. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. It is a sword. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitated the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction portrays the truth. The handle which you inadvertently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw, my suspicions were aroused. That walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined the undeniable truth, the conclusion here. Your true motive from coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. Hey, Emden, what's up? How's it going? I'm doing good. Just playing this, finishing up this first part of the Great Ace Attorney. And just seeing what this guy's crime is. But first, we're getting all the wrong answers right now. But yeah. How was your trash log? I wasn't able to watch the rest of the Elite Four. I was like lurking and then I fell asleep. How did you do on your trash log? You got the win? Nice. Wait, was it intended for a like the Elite Four, or are you planning to play more of it? How far in did you get to? I think I got to like the first Elite Four, like when you beat it, and then I just fell asleep because I don't remember the rest. And I have the chance. No, you don't, Luigi. Before that's... Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So the Star Wars download is like in kilobits per second sometimes.
Well, I'm done with it. It seems that Will's all done with it too.
Mine is like halfway done, I guess. Like the yellow bar is like halfway across the screen.
It goes really fast in the second half. Like once it goes like halfway, it then speeds up in like 10 minutes.
Yep.
Also, thank you, Luigi, for the gift sub to Emden. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the main plan was Grumpig, carry, and then died just because of the low roll. So that was Battle 2. Jeez. Sucks you lost Grumpig, but sounds like at least it didn't hinder you too much. Then the Battle 3 went fine as predicted explosion. Okay, nice. Predict those explosions. No yawning, Will. Go get some monster energy drinks.
I can't have any caffeine.
Get some tea then.
I have none.
Then get something to drink then.
All I got is water.
Then drink it.
What do you think I've been drinking?
Pumpkins. Get some high
This
C.
is not Harry. This is not Harry Potter. I do not drink pumpkin juice.
Get some high C. Battle for Lost Swords Dance Crawdon Oof, which had high key resistance. Champion preferred to have a clay doll. There. Ooh, wait. Champion battle was Electrode hard carry. Oh, dang, nice. Sacrifice has to be made, but at least you made it through, Emden. I'm glad that you made it through. At least you didn't have to reset.
The yawning side effects from what I got going on. I'm not tired. I just got the side effects. Oh crap.
Alright, well, anyway, let me continue this investigation. But I'm glad you beat it, Emden. Proud of it. Couldn't have restart again. 2 champion batters for 2 L's. Jesus. Should they do Soul Link? No. I'm not doing a Soul Link, at least not right now. Or not anytime soon. If I were to do a Soul Link, I would have to actually prepare mental, like, a lot of things for that. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I would expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is an ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped for. Randomized or regular? If they're going to be Soul Linked, it's going to have to be randomized. More chaotic. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter in which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works carried out in the local area. According to the enclosed plan of upcoming sewage works. I enjoy watching Soul Link since they can be fun. They can be fun, but there are a lot of you need to like really prepare for them. Since they race and randomize, I think randomizer. Yeah, we do. One that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in the very close proximity to the Great Vault of the Financial Institute opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us to the last and final chapter of this lurid scheme. With that, what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the ground on the vault bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present you a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the great exhibition. I'm afraid you've quite lost me there. Lost me. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the great exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of the bank, the special reserve funds for the great exhibition. Of course, it is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. I think he's right on the dot, Justin. Warner Brothers can be soul linked. They can race every gen with Digits as the well, since they do. Digits would not do a soul link. He's not. That's too much for him. It'd be fitting that you randomize a soul link. They could do, if I do a soul link, it's definitely with someone who really wants to do it. But other than that, I don't think Digits would really want to do it. This concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of pawnbroking puzzle. Never trust a Benedict that looks that good. Ooh, Justin, I see that this man is your type. Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm impressively upbeat deduction. An impressively upbeat for deduction racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Don't hide it, Justin. I know you like some good old-fashioned Benedicts, especially when they're very nice and cooked. Oh, nice and steamy, I should say. Better way. Was it true that what you said about the bank over the road? What it has in its vault? Indeed, though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me, in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be one explanation for that. Clearly, it must be the man that is a criminal. But what if he didn't do anything about the money in the vault? If he's a criminal, as you say, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windybank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. Oh, my life! I assure you I'm not that unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them. And once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding you in next time, Mr. Sholmes. Randomizer Soul Link ends up being one person getting screwed and one person having a fun time. Yeah, Randomizer Soul Link is always like something like that. It's just one of those things is that it gives a better challenge, but there's also that it gives a tough time for both people. So while a Soul Link sounds like an interesting thing, I don't want to commit to that at all because one, I need to find someone who is willing to do that, and two, setting up a whole playthrough of that is going to take some time. So I'm not committing to that at all. The better person getting screwed. Yep. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea. I did one with a friend for yellow and turn to I get a Mewtwo and you pick 5 Pokemon. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to the great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. It's a weird way to say it. Very well. Let's just start once more from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' magnificent, logical, and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright. So, first of all, we know RSS is ventured upon business. We already read this stuff. They came to packet, blah blah blah. Certainly a lie. The review is quite different. Stated as a holding hand, yes, responsive staff recruitment. So this is where it gets a little deviation. So by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down to the floor. Yes, in an attempt to the tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No. I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? Oh. Hello, scribbled writing. These notes are scrawled like famous for someone consuming money. The moment paper proposal. I didn't really look at it. You're pawning so much to give you. Precisely, and what is your attention? Natural flowing, and sometimes truth hurts. The truth is, you don't have to turn an observation. Did that hurt? Aha, yes, a lot. Let's try this again. Suppose you're right. I need to look at this again. Yeah, I need to press A instead of like... Oh, look at all the scribble notes back at the lie here. I don't believe it! What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's detailed description of Mr. Lestrade. Goodness. Even a sketch of her and hat and all. Although, if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of this shop have been written down here too. Winterback's Pawnbroker, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th April. Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all information scrawled on the back of a piece of paper?
Take that!
There we go. I need to press A. Remember, the A button is serious. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Mrs. Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing on the sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket, Miss Lestrade, and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery here. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's pawnbrokery, and today the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So, you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide for the reason your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is something ulterior motive in the actions. The cane. Contradiction. Other rot. Cane is blah blah blah. It is the cane contradiction I speak, of course. Is the missing ferrule. What's a ferrule? It's a metal cap commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Naruto. Ah, the bit that makes a nice clacking sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's something secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather not know. Look here, Mr. Sato. I like how the guy, he clearly is blinking, so that means he's just standing there and letting you just examine everything. It's just weird. Oh man, Emden's hydrating. I gotta hydrate too. Thanks, dude. I got some good ice in here. This is like cold water, like fresh, like not freshly brewed. Why was it like freshly brewed? No, it's freshly cold water. Look here, Mr. Sato. There are letters on the handle. Ah, yes. Those must be the initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So Herlock Sholmes would be SH. HS, yeah, you mean. That's right. And the initials on this cane's obviously... Oh. AG? Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? Meow. I love me some freshly brewed water. Lol. I mean, wouldn't you?
Take that!
The contradiction of which I speak, of course, is the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Egbert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet, in the most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane that bearing the initials AG. The uncontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said that you had that cane for years. Don't try to tell us that you borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you're holding yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Well, in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitated answering conundrum presented itself. Namely, the truth and the rod you bear, blah blah blah. Rest of it portray action penetrates the truth. And the handle, you inadvertently conceal the riddle. Blah, blah, blah. What? What? Why is your hand open? What is this? Why is your hand open? How is that cane floating? Is he a magician? Witch! He's a witch! Burn the witch! Funny enough, Burn the Witch is actually something that is set in London. Other hand holding it. I guess so. It's a weird way to hold it though, Luigi. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed the fine-looking overcoat. And now a mysterious man has appeared introducing himself with a fake name and claiming that overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. I heard a stitch. Oh, I see Mother Solar's been coming apart. So it is. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a teeny growl. But now I think about it, it sounded like a seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretching, bursting, and he wouldn't have hoped to fasten it at the front. If he were to run in it, the whole thing would fall apart. That I like to see. I'm sorry? So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around? You're really giving this some thought. Nani? Susato, you have a weird fetish of making this man run. The split seam you inadvertently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Yes, and because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicion were aroused from the outset. That's not the proper way you want to say that, Sholmes. Still need to replace some of that. When you badly lied about your name, so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalog of untruth has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from the Mr. Winterbank. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. What's this game in big words? Abscond? God, I'm not English. I'm not English. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. We must expose the crime that you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, gentleman Weaves, have forgotten the watchword. Wait. Oh, yeah, it changed a little bit. We must expose the details of the lab crime you are planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed to a wheeze, to filch some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place? How could I possibly have known the relevant details? Necessitas? No, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are really only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, your furtive glance. Then what help? What? Let us consider how one might to learn a secret watchword related to the pond, property of another. Is the method revealed by the console note or deliberately withdrawn? The direction of deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talking of tunneling into the sewers, which is a pity because it all sounded rather exciting. Go make a movie out of it, Naruhodo. Make it 1 minute movie. People will pay millions to see it. Anyway, you can't deny that this is mysterious gentleman. This mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, the professor. Yes, professor. If you didn't know the word, Mr. Winterbank would never allow you to redeem the article. Or looking at it another way, if you did know the word, Mr. Winterbank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? No. Look at this, Susato. And it appears it's a memo of Mr. Winterbank scribbled himself. Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor! Mr. Winterbank must be taking note of watchwords his customer gave him right before his eyes. And in alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what the others might see?
Take that!
Is that a Diggs baby? The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter in which your eyes are inadvertently drawn. Ah, yes. The broker here follows the same procedure. Whether a customer comes to redeem an article, he asks for the customer for a watchword and notes down the response uttered on the notelet he has in to hand. Then he consults his ledger, confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. And I can do this. No, Luigi, stop it. You don't have to do it. Digits, run! Run away! Kyle, run away! I would expect nothing less from a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. And what are you talking about? It's increasingly apparent that this is present in shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Winterbank. Also, thank you, Luigi, for gifting the sub to Digits, and now he's subscribed for 8 months in a row. He's almost to the Wii era. I think he's almost there to get his fix his Wii. Hype. Thank you, Luigi, for the gifted sub. In likelihood, he followed him in the Mayweather Osaka. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawn article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Which brings us to the last and final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? Why, sus? Bless you. For ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems justified effort, with much less of a worthless music box sticks. But naturally, you had a very good reason to make that yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. The article we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box that was one of his pocket, which according to Mr. Winterberg isn't even worth a penny. And yet, this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruto. Could we really? I have to go thorough look at all the evidence that goes far. Look at my arm badge! Look at my arm badge. Oh, that says Kazuma. This is the reason. Look at the lumps of 10 tiny discs. It is spiky. Seems like grading on some of the figure. Ouch. Each. Yeah, I thought this was gonna be. Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck into the reverse side of the disc. Look. And scribbled a word or two. Why no one saw this? Or two. It looks like somebody's name. I guess Cosmo is the true villain. Yeah, that's why he died earlier. He masterfully planned this entire thing. For Mick Gilded. Mick Gilded? It couldn't be. But it is, Mr. Naruto. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? Music doctor's information updating the court record.
Take that!
You see, this music box list tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads, for Mr. McGildy. The man the Reaper killed. Supposedly. Also, Max, with the Prime Gaming sub. Thank you for 10 months, dude. How you been? How's your sleep? How's Kirby Forgotten Dreamland? I stopped after a little bit, dude. Almost a year. Almost a year, dude. Almost a year. One more, please. Oh, all right. The hype train. Actually, yeah, because like a hype train will get me to the front, closer to the front page if someone gives me bits or a random sub, I think. But unfortunately, no, that's not gonna happen because that's only 30 seconds. That game is so true. I want to get it. I absolutely want to play it. Choo choo. Ah, Mr. McGilded. Magnus McGilded. The unfortunate philanthropist who perished in the curious circumstances of the Old Bailey 2 months ago. Digits have any bits to help. Digits doesn't have any bits. We're not going to get that hype train, Luigi, unfortunately, now. As much as it's cool. Stream Elements, you're late. Wow, Stream Elements, you're so late on that. A prominent man in London, through his lone mongering demonstration of distinct lack of scruples. Extremely, yeah. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusual small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for the overcoat that you're squeezed yourself into. So your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Edgar Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The only reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve the article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. No! Also, him moving so much would also rip that whole suit. Also, that means that basically, Lestrade and Benedict are both not the owners of that. So technically speaking, Lestrade is still the owner of it because she claimed it first. Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Mrs. Susato. Well, according to what Mr. Winterbeck told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Oh, yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Well, today is April 5th, 15th April, so 2 months ago today. Would have been the 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10 p.m. 30 p.m. I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, 15th of February. It's precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening. It's precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Such as if it's not the word, it would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However... Oh boy, we got a gun in front of us. Mario, protect us! Whoops, wrong button, one thing. Mario, protect us! There we go. Good job, Mario. You're protecting censorship because this is unfortunately too extreme for American audiences because it's just like the Pokemon anime. They protected people by censoring and getting rid of the episode of when their gun pointing towards at the face. Then again, this whole case would be completely censored because of that guy literally putting a gun to his head. Hubert doesn't want this. No, he doesn't. But I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. Ah! I'll put it away though. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? Absolutely not. I'll die with it. There has to be some things a man must protect at all costs. This way may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Hold it! Mr. Winterbank. This is my shop. I won't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, it should have to take my own life. Mr. Winterbank, no. All right, that's enough. Inspector Gregson. Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our detected emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Good. Now what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my own very own establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand.
Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered on with some petty argy-bargy.
Petty? Mr. Winderbank very neatly met with his end.
Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell.
Oh dear.
And the whole of Britain could meet its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on.
What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no details, Gregson.
I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're going to have to come with me down to the station.
Yeah, of course, Inspector.
He's getting away! Get after them lads. Whistle the beat officer too.
Sir!
There has been a spate of deaths at pawn shops around here recently, so we've been fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters of our brokers to let us know when there is trouble.
Oh, Inspector, I was very worried for a while. Very worried indeed.
Now then, Mr. Permanently in the morning,
Oh, yes?
I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGillicuddy's down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over.
Oh, yes, of course. No, don't. Don't give it to him. It's mine, and that is. It's mine, that is. Mine.
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to Mr. McGillicuddy has to be taken in as evidence now.
As evidence? If the police demands something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. And so, we handed Mr. McGillicuddy's disc over to Inspector Grayson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. To be continued. Part 1 of the case is done. We have plenty of parts to go. That took 3 hours. Literally 3 hours. Interesting to see, though. But with that, how many parts? From what I saw, I know I spoiled a little bit, Justin, but I did want to do a brief click on how many parts so I can kind of like situate where the story is going. I didn't look at any of the parts, by the way. I only literally just counted how many were there. But there are a total, including the trials, a total of 8 parts. So we're gonna be at this trial for a while. And we'll see how long it goes through. Le gasp, says Justin. Oh, by the way, it's midnight. I should do my Wordle today. Oh, le gasp. But yeah, there are like about eight parts, Luigi. I don't know how long. It's the longest case in the entire game. Like the most I had was 4 priorities, says Digits. I mean,